First, we'll introduce the security management function. Broadly speaking, the security management function entails establishing, implementing, and monitoring an information security program under the direction of a senior responsible person. The security management involves multiple levels of management. The different levels of management contribute to the overall security program with various types of expertise, authority, and resources. In general, executive managers best understand the organization as a whole and have more authority. But frontline managers are more familiar with specific requirements, both technical and procedural, and problems of the system and users. So the different levels of computer security program management should be complementary to each other and help each other be more effective. In Chapter 2, we learned two individual roles: Chief Information Security Officer and Information Security Manager. They both play a very important role in security governance. The Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, has overall responsibility for the enterprise information security program. The CISO is the link between executive management and the information security program. The officer should also communicate and coordinate closely with key business stakeholders and address information protection needs. Furthermore, the officer is responsible for establishing and maintaining an information security management system. The officer is also responsible for defining and managing an information security risk treatment plan and monitoring and reviewing the information security management system. The information security manager has responsibility for the management of information security efforts. So Code 5 lists the area of responsibility of an information security manager, including application information security, infrastructure information security, access management, threat and incident management, risk management, awareness program, metrics, and vendor assessment. Code 5 also makes a distinction between the Chief Information Security Officer and the Information Security Manager. The Chief Information Security Officer is a chief-level position with oversight of an Information Security Manager, whereas the Information Security Manager has operational management responsibilities. Some organizations combine the roles of Chief Information Security Officer and the Information Security Manager. So for the purpose of this chapter, we will simply refer to this role as Chief Information Security Officer. The Information Security Guide for Government Executives from the National Institute of Standards and Technologies provide a useful summary of the tasks that comprise information security management. Although this guide is addressed to government executives, it discusses the general functional areas of an information security program that should be the responsibility of a Chief Information Security Officer of any organization. So the key security program areas include the following bullet points here on this slide. I will discuss all of them in this course. We'll already discuss some of them in previous chapters. We'll discuss some of them in this chapter, and the rest of them will be introduced in later chapters. Another useful source of guidance on the information management security function is from the Information Security Forum. It claims that it encompasses 5 functions, including consistent organization-wide use of security, support function, monitor function, projects function, and external requirements function. According to the National Institute of Standards and Technology special publication, Guide for Developing Security Plans for Federal Information Systems, Security Plan is a formal document that provides an overview of the security requirements for an information system. It describes the controls in place and planned for meeting these requirements. The system security plan also delineates responsibilities and expected behavior for all individuals who have access to the system. The National Institute of Standards and Technology's guidance recommends that each information system in an organization has a separate plan document with the following elements on this slide. The Chief Information Security Officer oversees security projects throughout the organization and also coordinates the process for developing and approving security plans. One good description of such a process is provided by the Federal Enterprise Architecture, Security, and Privacy Profile. Its process includes 3 steps: Each of them has goals, objectives, implementing activities, and output products for formal inclusion in agency enterprise architecture and capital planning processes. So the first step is identification. It encompasses the research and documentation activities necessary to identify security and privacy requirements in support of the mission objectives, so they can be incorporated into the enterprise architecture. The identification step includes three types of requirements. First, external requirements are security requirements imposed by outsiders of the organization, such as lawmakers, regulators, and contractual commitments. Second, internal requirements are security requirements developed as part of the security policy, such as acceptable degree of risk and confidentiality, integrity, availability, and privacy guidelines. The last one is business requirements. These requirements are related to the overall business mission of the enterprise. Examples are such as our financial, accounting, and auditing requirements. In general, these requirements refer to the organization's needs to discharge business responsibilities. The analysis step involves procedures such as analysis of the organization's security and privacy requirements and the existing and planned capabilities that support those security and privacy. The selection step involves an enterprise evaluation of the solution proposed in the preceding phase and the selection of major investments. Next, we'll talk about security-related capital planning. Determining the benefits of an organization from security investments is a key element of security planning. Traditionally, capital planning has been applied to IT procurement overall and has been a separate function from security planning. As pointed out by the National Institute of Standards and Technology's guidance, it is important to integrate capital planning methodology into the security planning process. An effective way of doing this is the Select, Control, Evaluate framework. This framework is defined by the U.S. Government Accountability Office. It defines a technical process that consists of three phases for deciding which projects to pursue and which investments to make. So the first phase is Select. This phase identifies and analyzes the risk and returns of each project before committing significant funds to it. The organization then selects the projects that best support its mission needs. It repeats this process each time when funds are allocated to projects. The second phase is Control. This phase ensures that as projects develop and investment expenditures continue, the project continues to meet mission needs at the expected level of cost and risk. If the project is not meeting expectations or if problems have risen, steps must be quickly taken to address these deficiencies. If mission needs have changed, the organization needs to adjust the objectives for the project and appropriately modify expected project outcomes. So the last phase is Evaluate. It compares actual results and expected results after a project is fully implemented. This is done to assess the project's impact on mission performance and to identify any necessary changes or modifications to the project. It is done to revise the investment management process based on lessons learned. It is recommended to apply this process to every security-related investments in the organization. The costs typically incurred in three categories. The first cost category is direct costs of providing IT security for specific IT investment. The second cost category is costs for products, procedures, or personnel that have an incidental or integral component and a quantifiable benefit for the specific IT investment. The last cost category is allocated security control costs for networks that provide some security controls for associated applications.